How's it going, folks? Today we're going to learn how to make this main menu with the 3D assets in the background and also camera movement. And additionally, this main menu also has some animations built into it as well. If you like this type of video, let me know by hitting that like button. Now let's get into the video. First we're going to do is go to our content drawer, create a new folder, and this is going to be for our main menu. It's going to contain everything that we need for our main menu. So in this main menu folder, I'm going to go ahead and create a new blueprint class of type character. This would be main menu underscore character. Open this up and we're going to go ahead and select our capsule component and then add in a spring arm. Select the spring arm and then let's add in a camera. Select the spring arm and rotate the camera on the Z-axis to bring it forward to 180. So it's facing the actual character. Now, again, we're not going to be setting up the character or anything here. We're only going to be using this camera as our 3D camera. In our event graph, what we want to do is just to make it easy on the actual game, I'm going to drag this character movement and then say disable movement. And now I'm going to go back to the content drawer, right click and create a new blueprint class. And this would be our game mode base. We're going to name this GM for game mode underscore main menu. In here, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to set up our default pawn class to our main menu character. Compile and save. Now at this time, we have the third person map open. Let's set up a new map for our main menu. You can choose to use this third person character, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to create a new map. So I'm going to go ahead, file, new level, basic level, create. I'm going to go to the content drawer. Inside of the main menu, I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder and name this maps. And then now I'm going to go file, save current level as. Inside the main menu maps, I'm going to name this as our main menu. So we have a dedicated map for our main menu alone. And next thing we're going to do is go to our edit, project settings, select maps and modes on this left side, set up our main menu as the editor map and also our default game map. Now again, editor starter map, you can change this to whichever map you're currently working on. For this tutorial, I'm going to set this as main menu. And also our default game mode, change it from the third person to our main menu. We can now close this and let's go ahead and save everything. In our main menu character, we're going to create our event tick, drag our camera. We're going to get the world location. Right click on this return value. Let's go ahead and split it. And also right click and then search for make vector. Connect the X as it is. And we're going to edit the Y value. Let me tell you how you can check. If you go into your viewport, and if you set the front perspective, where the camera is right in front of you, if you want to move left and right, this is your Y-axis. If you want to go up and down, this is your Z-axis. This is from the camera's perspective. This is where your camera is. So we're going to go ahead and drag this Y value and then add. I'm just going to add 0.5. And you'll see what that does. And then you can feel free to change this as you like. And the Z value, I'm going to go ahead and connect it as it is. I'm going to drag in the camera again. And then I'm going to say set world location. Connect this to the event tick and make vector connected to the new location. So what happens is now if I press play, you'll notice that the camera spawns in and the camera is panning from left to right. Now we're going to go make the actual main menu itself. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint. And this will be our user widget. This is going to be W underscore main menu. Now let's go ahead and before we do anything and add this main menu to our player. In our event begin play, we want to do a function to update this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new function. And then we're going to say create main menu widget. In here, I'm going to go ahead, right click and say create widget. This would be our main menu widget that we just made. Owning player would be get player controller. Connect this execution pin. This return value, we're going to go ahead and promote to a variable, and the variable will be W underscore main menu ref. This is our main menu reference. Drag off of this reference, and then we're going to say add to viewport, just like that. And we're going to also get player controller one more time, and I'm going to say input mode. This will give me 3 options, whether the input should be UI only, game only, or UI and game. I'm going to set it to game and UI. Doesn't really make any big difference. Game only would only make it work within the game, but game and UI will make it work within the game and also the UI as well. And the widget to focus would be our main menu reference that we just created. And drag off of this get player controller one more time, and then we're going to say set show mouse cursor and set this to true. And now go to your event graph, drag this create main menu widget and connect it to your main event begin play. Compile and save. Now if I press play here, you can see I have my mouse fully accessible in here. Now back in your content drawer, go to your main menu. We're going to go ahead and create a canvas panel. Inside of this canvas panel, we're going to drop in a vertical box. Again, you can choose to do it however you like. I'm going to be creating a box that's going to say new game, settings, and quit in the right in the middle. And you can now take this and then build it to however you would like. And inside of this vertical box, I want to have a wrap box so everything stays in nice and neat. This wrap box, I'm going to set the horizontal alignment to center. An inner slot padding on the y-axis, I want to make it 10. And I want to make sure that this is a fill. I'm going to select this vertical box and then set the anchor to center. And then the position offset, I'm going to make it 0, X. And then the position offset Y, I'm going to make it 0. And inside of this wrap box, I'm going to create a button and drop this button. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the text and drag it on top of this button. Now I'm going to right click on this button and then duplicate it 2 more times. So this will give me 3 buttons. The vertical box, I'm going to go ahead and click size to content. That will set the vertical box to the entire content that we have. And the button number 1, I'm going to go ahead and name this as new game underscore BTN. The second button would be settings underscore BTN. And the third one is going to be quit underscore BTN. Inside of this new game, I'm going to select this text block and I'm going to name this as new game. I'm going to go into the settings and then select this, set this to settings. And the quit button, I'm also going to select this and make this into quit. Now, Unreal comes with this basic font. If you open up this font, you have this Roboto font, and I'm not really a fan of this Roboto font. So I'm going to show you how you can quickly install a new font. The website that'll be in the link description below is called thefont.com. Now, the font has tons and tons of free fonts that you can use for commercial purposes. For you to identify what font you can use for commercial purposes, we can select a font, and then right here where it says note of the author, you can see if the author states this as 100% free or if you have to purchase a license if you need to use it for commercial project. So I'm going to go find a free one. So here, the super shiny one is free for personal use and commercial use. So this one, you can actually use it in your games and for your commercial purposes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. To install this into Unreal Engine, I'm going to click download. Once the download is over, it's going to be a zip file. You're going to open up the zip file and then you're going to go ahead and extract all. And back in our Unreal Engine, go to your content drawer and we're going to go ahead and create a new folder. And this would be UI. And inside of the UI, we're going to create a new folder and name this fonts. When you extract it, you're going to get a TTF file, which is a true type font file. And all you have to do is drag that TTF file into Unreal Engine. And then it will ask you if you want to create a new font. You can say yes, and the font gets created. Now click on Save All. And now if you go into the game, and I'm going to go ahead and select my new game text, under the font, Roboto, you will see your super shiny font right here. And I'm going to go ahead and make this like 60. Actually, we can even make it bigger, 80. Same thing for settings. I'm going to go ahead and make this 80 and make this into the super shiny font. And the quit, make it super shiny and then make this 80 as well. Now what I'm going to do is select these 3 buttons. If you change the alpha of the background color to 0, it's going to get rid of the actual background, but the button still is in play. Now select the vertical box and we want to try to center this so it's not off on your screen. This looks good. Now if I go ahead and in-game, if I press play, I have my new game, settings, and then I have quit. Now one more thing that I can do is select these 3 text and then go to the outline settings, outline size. If I set this to 1, it's going to put in an outline on this actual buttons. Now if I press play in game, you can see that outline. And the last thing that we're going to do here is to quickly animate these buttons. To do animates, at the very bottom, you should see an animation tab. If not, you can always go to window and then open up the animations here. This will give you the animation pane. You're going to click on new animation and name this as new game underscore pop-up. So what this is, I want this new game button to pop up when the player hovers over it. So select this new game pop-up, select this new game button, and then when you click on add, you should have that new game button option available here. Now click on it and then you will get the new game button. Make sure that your track is set to 0, 0. This is your starting position. So you need to define your starting position. In the starting position, I'm going to go ahead and press the plus button here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a transform. And this transform, I'm going to expand it. And I'm only going to work with the scale of it. At 0, 0, I want this to be at 1, 1, which is good. when it's about like quarter of a second, I want this to go to 1.5. You'll notice it automatically adds in a key for you. Same thing here on the y-axis. I want this to go 1.5. One more thing that I want this to do is when I hover over this new button, I also want to change its color. So I'm going to select the color over here. Under the color and opacity, I want to, again, move back to the 0 and then make sure that this is set to 111. And then at the quarter of a second when it actually hovers, I want this to change into green. So I'm going to go ahead and zero out the red and also the blue. This will make the new game into green. So how this would look like is at 0, 0. And 0, 0, we also need to set this to 1 here and 1. So there you go. That should do the trick. Now, if as it hovers up, it's going to turn into green. And now one more thing that I want to do is to also make the background highlight a little. So I'm going to click on plus and then click on the background color. So this background color, I'm going to open it up. And when it's at 0.25, I want this background color to have a little bit of a tint to it. So I'm going to make this the R value to 0 and the blue value to 0 as well. It's going to have a green tint, but then the alpha, I'm going to make it 0.3. This is how it's going to be when when the animation actually plays. Again, I'm just showing you the basics of it. You can make any changes you would like. This is how it would look like if you were to make it into blue. So this is all we're going to do here. Now we're going to do the same thing for the settings button as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new animation, settings underscore pop-up. Select this, add the settings button. We want to leave it at 0. We want to add 3 things. First is background color, and we want to change our color and opacity, and also we want to change our transform. At 0, everything can be good. At 0.5, I want to take my background color and set it to, let's say I want to set it to green and make this 0.3. The color of the button, I want this to be a blue button. So I'm going to make this all blue. And then the transform, I'm going to select the scale and then set this X value to 1.5 and the Y value to 1.5. So it expands like that. We're done with the settings button. Now create the last one, which is our quit button. Same thing, quit underscore pop-up. Now we're done with all of our buttons. Let's do our functionality. Select the new game button, and at the very bottom, you will see on hovered and also on unhovered. So I'm going to go ahead and click this on hovered and do the same thing. Select the new game button and then also bring in the on unhovered. So this is my two on hovered and unhovered. I'm going to do this same thing for settings and the quit button as well. Now that I have all the buttons, we're going to start working on each and every single one of them. On hovered and on unhovered, what we want to do is we have an animation where we have our new game pop-up. I'm going to drag this, get new game pop-up, and then up here I'm going to say play animation forward. And this would be connected to our hovered, and then drag off of the same new game pop-up, and I'm going to say play animation reverse. This would be on unhovered. And we're going to do the same thing for our settings and our quit button as well. So I'm going to move this down, copy these two animation forward and reverse and put it down here 2 times, one for quit, one for settings. And for the settings, I'm going to connect these settings unhovered and hovered. On hovered, we want to play the animation forward. And then on unhovered, we want to play the animation in reverse. We want to drag in our settings pop-up, get, and then connect this to in animation. And the last one, again, on quit hovered, we want to play the animation forward. On quit unhovered, we want to play the animation in reverse. And then drag in your quit pop-up. And then connect this to your animation. So if I go into my new game, if I hover over new game, you see how the button pops up and it pops right back out. Same thing for settings. And then now for quit as well. So that is it for a simple main menu creation. Now to open up your level during when the player selects the new game, you can just select the new game button and then you can go ahead and on click. That's going to give you a new function to on click. And then here you would just go ahead and search for a function named open level. This you need to give them the actual name of the level. So I do have the other level, which is our third person map. We want to get the exact same name. We don't want to make a mistake. And we want to just paste it in here. If I go ahead and click on new game, you'll notice that the third person map just loaded in. One thing that you do want to keep an eye out for is right now my mouse is working when I click and rotate, but it's not working without it. That's because in our actual main menu widget, we did state that we set our input mode to game UI and show mouse cursor. We just need to make sure that in our third person blueprint, if you don't have a event begin play, you can always go ahead and make one. On event begin play, we want to get our player controller and we want to set input mode to game only, and then also drag off of this and say set show mouse cursor. Right now, our main menu is looking pretty plain. So let's go ahead and download an environment. I'm going to go to Fab and then select environments. And here I'm going to set the price to free, just so that I can find something free. I'm going to select this bazaar. I like this bazaar. And I'm going to add this to my project and wait for this to download. The bazaar is now done downloading. So now I'm going to go back to my main menu here and open up my content drawer and open up the folder for Scene Bazaar. And it has a maps folder. Inside of this maps folder, we have the actual level. This is the overview level. Let's go ahead and open it. Now this is going to take a little bit of while to open because of all the shaders, but by the magic of editing, here we are. I'm going to go ahead and add in a player start in here. So I'm going to go up here and then go to basic and then add in a player start. And then also in my content drawer, I'm going to go to my main menu character where we have our camera moving. I'm going to go ahead and connect the Y directly, but then take the X and then do the increment, but more of a decrement. I'm going to just add a minus here, minus 0.5, compile and save. And then also I'm going to go here and select my character and then turn it 90 degrees. So now if I press play, you notice how the camera is moving. The bazaar is in the back. It looks really, really pretty. And also in my main menu, I'm going to go ahead and select the camera and set the FOV to 40 and then call it a day. There you have it, folks. That's it for making a simple main menu with a 3D background. Now you can make this background as however you would like in your game. You can have your character running around in the background if you would like, or several different things happening in the background. It could be a nature shot. I hope you understand the concept of how to setting up this main menu and also playing with the animations available within the UI itself to make things much cooler. Thank you again for stopping by. If you like this video, please hit that like button and also subscribe. And if you would like to see anything else in my channel, please let me know in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to making it for you. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye now.